I do not like the moon. And before anybody says, oh, so you prefer the sun? No, absolutely not. The sun and the moon are not on the same team in the conversation. This is not a custody battle. I have problems with both of them. The sun is loud, the moon is weird, different crimes, but the same courtroom. Because at least the sun is honest. The sun shows up and says, hello everyone, I'm a giant ball of fire. Fair enough. I may not like it, but I respect the transparency. But the moon is suspicious. From the very beginning. The moon doesn't even make its own lights. That's my first issue. The moon is basically the friend in a group project who contributed nothing and somehow got the same grade. Think about it. The sun is doing all the work. Nuclear reactions, gravity, keeping the entire solar system organized. And meanwhile the moon is standing there like, look how bright I am. Brother, that's not your light. You are borrowed. That's all you are. Your entire career is reposting somebody else's content. And somehow, nobody talks about this. People write poems about the moon, songs about the moon, love letters about the moon. Nobody ever stops and says, wait a second, isn't this thing just reflecting somebody else's work? That's celebrity level networking. The moon has built an entire reputation out of showing up near successful people. And another thing, why does the moon keep changing shape? Nobody talks about how weird that is. Imagine if your neighbor did that. Imagine if you walk outside, Monday, normal. Tuesday, half a person. Wednesday, tiny crescent-shaped man. And Thursday, back to normal. You'd call somebody. The moon does this every month and we are all supposed to act calm. Oh, look, it's a crescent moon. No, that's not an explanation. I want answers. Pick a shape and commit. The moon has had billions of years to figure itself out. How are we still experimenting? And don't give me the science. I know there is science. There is always science. Science explains how something happens. It doesn't explain why it feels suspicious. Those are different things, and the moon is unbelievably dramatic. Every night, it needs a different look. Sometimes it's full, sometimes it's half, sometimes it's a tiny little silver, sometimes it disappears completely. Imagine if your coworker did that. Imagine showing up to work and Dave is only 30% visible. Nobody would continue the meeting. There would be questions, but the moon does it, and suddenly everybody becomes a philosopher. It's beautiful. No, it's inconsistent. And let's talk about werewolves for a second, because I think the moon's legal team has done an incredible job distancing itself from the whole situation. Everybody just accepted it for decades. Movies, books, stories, all saying the same thing. These giant objects in the sky can turn people into monsters. And nobody stopped to ask the moon for comment. Very convenient. If I got accused of creating werewolves, I'd be holding press conferences every week. But the moon? Silent, suspicious. And don't even get me started on how creepy it is at night. People say the moon is peaceful. Peaceful? Brother, it's a giant face-colored rock hovering in the darkness watching everything. How is that peaceful? Every horror movie starts with somebody looking at the moon. You know who never looks at the moon? People having a normal afternoon. Nobody eating a sandwich at noon and suddenly becomes fascinated by the moon. The moon belongs to poets, insomniacs, and people who are about to make terrible decisions. That's its audience. And another thing, why is the moon always following me? Nobody talks about this enough. I know the explanation. I've heard the explanation. I don't care. It still feels weird. You drive for 20 minutes, the moon is there. You drive for 2 hours, the moon is there. You cross an entire city, the moon says, still here. What are you doing? Do you have your own hobbies? Why am I being monitored? And don't tell me it's not following. because it definitely isn't following the guy behind me. He's not paying attention. I'm the only one who noticed. Clearly, this is personal. And moon people are the weirdest people on earth. Every time there is a full moon, they suddenly become wildlife experts, energy experts, spiritual experts, ocean experts, sleep experts. Everybody's got theories. The moon is 384,000 kilometers away. My Wi-Fi struggles to reach the bathroom, but apparently the moon has direct access to your emotions. Sure, let's go with that. And somehow, the moon gets credit for everything. Bad sleep, moon. Weird dreams, moon. Ocean tides, moon. Your dog acting strange, moon. At this point, the moon has become the celestial version. My cousin knows a guy. It's somehow connected to everything. Nobody can explain exactly how, but it's involved. And honestly, I think the moon enjoys it. The moon has chaos energy. The sun wants attention. The moon wants mystery. The sun is a celebrity. The moon is a conspiracy theory. Completely different, completely different personalities. And don't forget, we actually went there. That's the craziest part. Humans looked at the moon and said, we should visit. And then they did. Imagine being the moon. You've spent billions of years sitting there, minding your own business. Then suddenly, a bunch of humans arrive, plant a flag, take photos, leave tire tracks, and then leave. Honestly, if I were the moon, I would hold a grudge forever. Maybe that's why it's weird now. Maybe we are the problem. Actually, no. I'm not giving the moon that excuse. The moon was suspicious long before we arrived. And let's talk about eclipses. Because eclipses are one of those things everyone pretends to understand. Oh wow, the moon is passing in front of the sun. Yeah, that's exactly what concerns me. Why is that allowed? Imagine if one planet sized object blocked another planet sized objects and everybody's reaction was neat. No, I need security. I need regulations. I need somebody checking permits. On another thing, the moon never contributes anything useful. The sun grows food. The sun powers ecosystems. The sun runs the planet. What's the moon doing? Vibes. That's it. The moon's entire business model is atmosphere. It's basically a decorative pillow for the solar system. Looks nice, no practical purpose in day to day life, and somehow people are obsessed with it. Poets love it, photographers love it, artists love it. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here wondering how a giant floating rock has a better public image than most world leaders. That's impressive. You have to respect the hustle. At the end of the day, I don't hate the moon. I don't. I actually think it's kind of cool, but I don't trust it because every night it just appears, no announcement, no explanation, no accountability, just silently floating there, changing shapes, following cars, controlling tides, getting blamed for werewolves, influencing poets, borrowing sunlight. Like all of that is perfectly normal behavior. If a person did even half of those things, would even stop talking about it. But because it's the moon, everybody just points at the sky and says, wow. No, I'm asking questions until I get answers. I'm keeping an eye on that thing